Good morning. It's Thursday, February 4th. Today is the day after a day that will live in infamy in my life, as far as I am concerned. Yesterday, I was lucky enough to get my Covid-19 vaccination. The shot took 15 seconds. The people that I met there, the staff, they did a terrific job. We were with my son. He chose to come along and drive us because he was afraid that the roads would be impassable and that Gertrude and I would have a problem, and he's got this big SUV, so he decided he was going to come and take us. Gertrude's appointment was for 10:30, actually, in the morning. My appointment was for Friday at 4 p.m. But I went along in the hopes that maybe they would have Rahmanas on me and they would give me a shot in the arm, too. So the three of us went over to Stony Brook. And we got there a half an hour before we were designated to get the shot. And the gentleman that was standing at the line there said, just go around to that other road and swing around to the back. So that's what we did. We went around to the next road. And when we got on that road, what do you think we saw? You got it. A line of cars, all of them heading in the same direction. And there's no place else to go on this road. It's not like it's a side street you could get off. These cars were going. So we knew that it was going to take us a little while to get to the door, to get in for the shot. The little while turned out to be 2.5 hours in the car. The saving grace that there were 3 intelligent people sitting in the car. I'm counting myself and my son and Gertrude. And we were able to have a lively conversation about many political things and not so political things and what's happening in the family and the grandchildren. So it wasn't terrible being in that particular gathering. But can you imagine sitting 2.5 hours in the car and crazy things start running through your head? Because there's no place to go. If I had to take a piss, there was 2 feet of snow on each side of the road. And there weren't all that many concealed trees that I could hide behind. So we sat there and we talked. And then we got close to the approach. And we saw people actually going into the building, which lifted our spirits because we knew that we were close. We were close. But we didn't know what waited for us. We didn't know what we had to do before we would get the shots. We didn't understand the entire procedure. Now, when I looked at it around the building, I could see that the parking spaces weren't many. There weren't many parking spaces. And one of the interesting conversations that we were having in the car is, how could they do this job better? Well, one of the better ways would have been to send us to the main parking lot at Stony Brook University, and then have a bus or a shuttle take 10 or 15 or 20 of us to the site to get our injections, and just keep running the shuttles back and forth instead of having this long line of cars. So things like that went through our head. Or maybe they should have had people in different places, because we actually had to get out of the car and go into the building. All right. So we finally did that. We finally got out of the car and we got into the building. But we couldn't get into the building until they gave us forms to fill out. Why couldn't they have given us forms to fill out in the car while we were waiting? They knew there was a line. No, they waited for us to come around to the front of the building, fill out the forms. And the form. What do I have to fill out the forms for? I filled that form out online. The same exact dumb questions. Are you allergic to this? Have you sneezed in the last 45 minutes? When's the last time you took a shit? All of those dumb questions are on the form. Now I got to fill out 2 forms, one for me and one for Gertrude. Okay? So that takes another 15 or 20 minutes. And meanwhile, we're nice enough to take our spot online, and when people came up to us while I'm filling out the form, we let them go ahead of us. And then we passed muster. They accepted my information that I had this 4:00 appointment on Friday, but they would allow me to get the shot while I was there with Gertrude. So that was a wonderful thing. So then what happens is you got to go on another line. And what is that line? That's a check-in line. So that's another 20, 25 minutes waiting for the check-in line. So we check in. And then Gertrude had one question that she answered yes to. So we had to go for a medical evaluation. And we had to wait on that line. And then Gertrude passed easily the medical evaluation. And then we went in to get the vaccination. We came into this room and it had 10 stations set up with people giving vaccinations. And bingo, bango, bongo. 1 minute and 30 seconds we're vaccinated. That's 1 minute to walk to the station, 15 seconds to roll up my sleeve, and 15 seconds to get the shot, and then I'm out of there. Now, where do I have to go? To the observation room, where they have a gentleman sitting up front, and he's not paying any attention to us. He's not watching us. He's not seeing if I sit there for 15 minutes. I simply walk in, sit down, wave at him, get up and walk out. Now, that's not the purpose of the observation room. We were supposed to sit there for 15 minutes. So we took a toilet break. All three of us took a toilet break while we were waiting in the observation room. So then we finally left. After we finished with the operation room, it was easy. We went out, got back in the car, and we came home. And you know what pissed me off more than anything else? They didn't serve lunch there. I didn't eat lunch till 3:00 in the afternoon. Now, that's not terrible, but it just goes to show you that many of these sites are not well organized. Because I talked to my neighbors and they went to Jones Beach and they sat in their car and they were in and out in 15 minutes. So I'm recommending all of you to stay away from Stony Brook because I don't think they have their act together. And you know what? In 3 weeks, I'm going to go back there because I have to get the second shot. And this time, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll bring my computer with me and I can rant while I'm sitting in the car or something. But this was not a pleasant experience. It's not something that you're anxious to do, which I was. And it didn't go that well from my perspective. And what if I had been there alone? I would have really been pissed off. Because talking to myself is not the best thing to do. Because I'm not a great communicator with myself. So in any event, that's my experience with the Stony Brook site, the pod. And I'm recommending that if you have an appointment at the pod, don't be ashamed to go someplace else and cancel that appointment. Because I don't know that they're going to do any better in the coming weeks than they did for me yesterday. Now, maybe it was caused by the snowstorm and they had an influx of people they have to take care of. But I don't think that was the case. So in any event, I want you to all have a great day. Don't worry about me, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.